In this episode, we're going to take a look at the 10 most expensive Pokemon cards of all time. Now, if you do want to see the 10 most expensive Pokemon items or most expensive cards or anything like that, any other type of video like this, make sure you drop in the comments your ideas, leave a like and subscribe if you do want to see more. But for now, obviously following on from Logan Paul's video, we're going to take a look at the 10 most expensive Pokemon cards ever sold. Number 10, the 2005 Pokemon Japanese Play Promo, 70,000 points holo, Gold Star Umbreon. Now that's a bit of a mouthful. It was also a PSA 10. It was number 26 if you want all of the information, which sold for a massive $78,000. Now immediately this card may look familiar to you. It was re-released in the promo 25th anniversary edition. Over here it's called Celebrations. One of the more desired cards from the set for an obvious reason. This one was super difficult to get a hold of. So it was released as part of the Pop Series 5, which was released only in Japan and was part of their Play promotions. It was made available by a Pokemon fan club from 2005 to 2006. And to obtain the card, members needed 70,000 points, which they could gain through various activities at meetups. Now, due to the relatively short time frame it was released and was available, this became extremely difficult to obtain. So there's a few reasons for the price. Obviously, it's a PSA 10, which is going to jump it up massively. It's also Umbreon, one of the most popular Pokemon. It's a card only available in Japan, and one that was very difficult to obtain. So an extremely rare card, an extremely popular Pokemon, all of that adding up in the mint condition PSA 10. It's a no-brainer, and the perfect way to start our list. Number 9 is the 1999 Pokemon Japanese Promo number 1 Trainer Super Secret Battle Gem Mint 10, which sold at auction for $90,000. Now, the number 1 trainer was an item card. It was first released in Japan as a trainer card through tournaments, obviously being a first place prize in the Pokemon World Championships. So being only awarded to first place and it being so long ago, 1999, the TCG was very fresh. They didn't even have official World Championships until 2004, which was the first one. So these are very small tournaments in comparison to what you might see today, which means the chance of somebody owning one of these is so small. The chance of it being a mint 10 is even smaller, especially if you imagine the age of these players. It would take some real foresight to really know that this card is going to be valuable, to even know Pokemon would become what it is today. The fact that somebody did that is quite impressive, and it definitely earns its price tag. Coming in at number 8, we've got the 2006 Pokemon World Championships Promo number 2, Trainer PSA 9. I'm not sure how this one sold for more than obviously the number 1 trainer or the PSA 10. This sold for $110,000. Now for me, this one is very strange. I find it weird that the number 2 trainer, which is exactly the same as the number 1, but for second place, has become more expensive in a smaller grade. Now this could be to do with when it sold and how big Pokemon was at the time. Obviously we've had the recent Pokemon boom. It could have been during that. I also think if you win a tournament, don't get me wrong, second place is incredible. And me personally, I'd be happy with a place at all, honestly. But second place, I don't know, I feel like you're not going to hold as much value in that, especially if this is so far back, this is 2006. So Pokemon was sort of established. Obviously it's still a massive thing and it always has been, but I could see maybe you come second place at Worlds. Maybe it's not as important to you as it would be now. I don't know, I'm really clutching at straws here to try and explain why a number 2 trainer would be rarer. It's not as old as the number 1, it's not as high or difficult to obtain. The condition's not as good. Let me know in the comments if you have any ideas on this one, because it absolutely baffles me that this one sold for it sold for 20 grand more, which, yeah, I can't explain this one. In at number 7, we've got a first edition Neogenesis Lugia, which sold for $144,300. I'm really glad we see some cards on the list like this, which were available in sets, and it's not so difficult to get a hold of. It's not one that's rare because of its scarce availability or how difficult it was to find. It's one that could be found in any Neogenesis pack, However, it was one of the more popular Pokemon. It was first edition, it was good condition, which is something you can't really guarantee, especially with old collections. We've all had it. We've all had old beat up cards that if they were just a bit better kept, then they'd be worth a fortune now. And this is one of them. I think it is one of the iconic cards of Neogenesis, of Pokemon in general. Lugia is such a huge Pokemon. I don't know, if you ask me what the most popular Pokemon were, I would say Pikachu, Charizard, Umbreon. Lugia will probably be like top 10, but I wouldn't put him... I'll say now, there is no other Pokemon on here for popularity, except one, obviously, and you can probably guess what that is. So Lugia almost takes second place in that case, which is a strange one, but this next one's slightly stranger, so let's move on to that. Coming in at number 6, we've got the 1998 Pokemon Japanese promo, Family Event Trophy card, Holo Kangaskhan. PSA 10 again. This one, probably my favourite of the story, sold for $150,000. No offence at all meant towards Kangaskhan, but on a list of expensive cards, popularity, stuff that sells for a ton of money, I never thought we'd see this Pokemon. Like I said, Charizard, Pikachu, Lugia, Blastoise, Gengar, all stuff I would expect. But Kangaskhan, I don't think anyone could predict that. I'm not mad at it, it's a great Pokemon, I absolutely adore the Pokemon. Finally getting the respect it deserves, but why was this one so expensive? In Japan, this card was released through the Parent-Child Mega Battle Tournament held in 1998. That's so cool. I just want to say now, that is such a great idea, not only to get players into the game, but to teach the parents how to play so they can help sort of guide their children through this adventure, enjoy it with them. That's something I want to do one day. I want to introduce my kid into Pokemon. So something like this, it was a very long time ago now. I do hope they do more of. It's just such a sweet idea. And this is why I think this is probably my favourite card on this list for that reason. It's just so wholesome. I absolutely adore it. Obviously, reaching a certain amount of wins in that tournament meant they would get this card. They couldn't have picked a better card either. Obviously, we've got Kangaskhan, we've got the child in its pouch. It's just such a cool idea for a card, for a tournament. And it definitely earns its place on this list. And in all of our hearts. In at number 5, we've got the Ishihara GX promo, which sold for $247,000. Now, whilst researching this list, I found a sold copy for $100,000 on eBay, but that was back in 2020. A lot of places have reported it sold for $247,000, which is obviously a massive difference. As can be seen in the image, Ishihara GX is a Black Star promo in the likeness of the man himself. The card is obviously not intended for serious play with some fun attacks and stuff, but it's a very nice sentiment towards the president of the Pokemon Company. I think it was sold at a heritage auction, as best I can find. But like I say, it's just an incredible thing for an incredible person. He manages all aspects of the franchise and has been credited stuff all the way back to Pokemon Red and Green. This was made to celebrate his 60th birthday, where he's joined by Rotom, I guess his favourite Pokemon, and can be seen throwing a Master Ball. If there was ever a Pokemon Master, this man is it. Obviously, the exact number of cards printed is unknown. However, many believe at most 200 copies were printed, making it a super rare card. And the fact that it reached almost 250,000 in a PSA 7 is unbelievable. The card was also sported by the CEO's signature, so obviously that adds a ton of value. Just a really cool concept, a really cool idea, and one that's transitioned into a very expensive card. In at number 4, we've got the Pokemon Blastoise, which was commissioned. It was a presentation. This could be a one-of, and it sold for $360,000 in a near mint 8.5 by CGC. Now, I would argue this is the rarest card on here, as it was one commissioned for bringing the game over from Japan, almost like a prototype, and it's unknown if there are even any more in the world. This sold last year, so no doubt it's one that will just continue to rise. Obviously made with Wizards of the Coast in mid-1998, commissioned by Carta Mundi to print 2 of these cards to be used as presentation pieces. So there might be another one out there. I've never seen anything about another one. It could just be another Blastoise. But the fact that there's so few of them is why this sold. It was only a mint 8.5, but it sold for $360,000. which is absolutely massive when you think about it. Obviously, Blastoise is a very popular Pokemon, but in this case, it's all about rarity. It's all about how important that card was to getting things started outside of Japan for Pokemon. I can't say how big of an impact this card has had on so many of our lives. In terms of the TCG, I feel like this is the holy grail. If I had the money, I would search for this card over the Illustrator Pikachu. I don't know, it's just, I think it's slightly more special. Obviously everyone's got their favorites, and we will get onto that slightly in a moment. In at number 3, you may have a bit of deja vu here, is Illustrator Pikachu in a PSA 7, which sold for $375,000. But even at number 3, we've got another Illustrator. Obviously, if you've seen the recent Logan Paul video, this might ring a bell, but this is only a PSA 7 and it was sold a while ago. We've got a long way to go till we reach the PSA 10, but we'll save that talk for when we get to it. So let's move to number 2. In at number 2 though, and it had to be somewhere on this list, is the first edition Shadowless Holo Charizard in the PSA 10, which sold for $420,000. I feel like this card needs no introduction. This is the pinnacle of childhood if you grew up in the 90s. It is the absolute holy grail for most collectors. It's Charizard, it's first edition, it's Shadowless, it's Holo, it's a PSA 10. That's like a checklist. You want all of those things, and this card has that. It sold for $420,000, which is a big number, but I wouldn't be surprised if it sells for more at some point in the future. It just makes you think, when you were growing up, you probably had this card, you knew someone that had it, you maybe traded for it. I remember my cousin had a copy. It was absolutely beat up even back then, but I can also remember there being a shop that had it in like it had like a hanging thing on the wall with loads of different cards in. I thought they were so expensive. They were like, I can't remember how much, some were like £12. I was like, oh, that's like 5 packs. That's 5 base set packs. I'm not paying that. If only I knew. Obviously, you know why I made this video. I mentioned it in the start. You've probably seen Logan Paul's video himself. He brought an Illustrator PSA 10, one of the very few, if not the only PSA 10, for $5.3 million. Now, there was a few more on the list. There was a PSA 7 that sold for $720,000. There was a PSA 9 which sold for $840,000. But neither of those compared. I did want to group them together not to have too many illustrators on the list. Obviously a very rare card, and for a good reason. A little backstory, if you don't know about the Illustrator Pikachu, it was issued to a very small group of people that took place in a competition, making it an extremely rare card in general. But to have a PSA 10, I do think there is only one in the world, and that is currently owned by none other than Logan Paul, the inspiration for this video, and for me diving in and looking at some of these really cool expensive cards, which I will never own. But it's cool to look at them, it's cool to know about them. It makes me go out and explore Pokemon, it makes me look stuff up, it makes me research stuff, I find out more. I just love knowing about the game, I love the people in the hobby. So yeah, thank you for letting me make these videos, thank you for watching them, thank you for giving them some purpose to be made. I really do appreciate it. If you've made it to this point in the video, thank you so much for watching. Like I say, drop any ideas you've got down in the comments below. That's all I've got for this one, so I will catch you in the next one.